students, let us recall what we have learned in the previous session, students. Yes, we have just revised that topics what we have learned in the previous session. I hope you all have got this topic very easily. So first we will revise these topics. See, in the previous session we have learned that the solid exerts pressure on the solids. Also, liquid can exert the pressure. At the time, we have seen that this experiment that the topmost layer in that bottle exerts the pressure at the bottommost layer. Okay, so the pressure which is exerted by the liquid is downward. So that bottommost layer exerts the more pressure. So at that time, the question which was arise in your mind that what about the upward force which is exerted by the liquid, whether liquid exerts a upward force or not. So in today's session we are going to learn this first. So whether liquid exerts upward force or not. So we will proceed further. See, students, buoyancy. What do you mean by the buoyancy? See, in this case, suppose you are holding a slightly heavy object. You are holding a slightly heavy object in your hand. Now, if you try to hold that object within the container, see this container which is full of water, so you try to hold this slightly heavy object within that container. Okay, students, so you will notice that it feels lighter. When you hold this object within the container, you feel that, or you will notice that it feels lighter when you dip that stone or the slightly heavy object into the water. So it doesn't feel heavy at all. So students, what happens when you see? So students, what happens when you hold an empty glass into the container of the water? Okay, if you hold that empty glass into the container of the water, what happens? Of course, that glass fills up with water first. Okay, students, that glass fills up with water. So you are holding that glass of water inside the water of the container. Okay, means that full of water, that the glass which is full of water is holding in that container which possesses water. Now when you try to remove or try to take that glass outside the container or outside this water, what do you notice, students? Yes, when you take that glass of water outside the container, what do you notice? Yes, students, the glass feels heavier because it is filled with the water. Okay, so when it is outside the fluid and the same glass full of water felt light when it is inside the fluid. Okay, when this same glass, whenever inside the fluid, at that time that you feel that it is lighter, but when you take that glass outside the fluid, what will happen? Yes, students, what will happen? You feel that glass is heavy. So this is the case that brings us to the concept of buoyancy. See, student, what happens when an object is placed inside the fluid? Okay, the first which happen is, as we have seen in the previous video, the fluid pressure is increases with the depth. As the object goes deeper and deeper into the fluid, at that time the fluid pressure is increases. Now, because the pressure increases as we go deeper, the force exerted upward get also decrease. The force exerted upward due to the pressure will be more than the pressure which is exerted by the downward pressure. Okay students, so this is the force which is exerted on the bottom of the object due to the pressure will be more than the force which is exerted on the top. So students, this is really difficult to understand how that upward force acted by the fluid, but you have to just remember that whenever any object falls down into the fluid very deeply, at that time the pressure at that depth get increases, okay, and the fluid also exerts the more pressure over there. Okay students, so this is the basic principle of the buoyant force. Got it? So students, for clearing this concept buoyancy, here I have take another example. See over here, if you drop the bottle of the fluid, see, this is the bottle this is the bottle. So you can taste this tightly closed empty plastic bottle, and this is the container which is filled of water. Okay, so that empty bottle which is tightly closed, when you drop into the fluid, you will see that it will float. You will see that students, it will float. Okay, so that's because the fluid is applying the force, that is upward force on the bottle. Again students, I repeat, this is the bottle which is empty and tightly closed, bottle, and if this bottle, such kind of bottle, you drop into the water, drop into that fluid, at that time you will notice that this bottle does not goes into that fluid. Okay, this bottle does not goes into that fluid, it will only float over there. Why that bottle will float? See student, this is because the fluid is applying, that means that water which is present in the container applying an upward force onto the bottle. So now hold this bottle and push it inside the fluid. Again you have to hold this bottle and push into the fluid. You will notice that the bottle is also exerting an upward force on your hand. So if you leave this bottle, okay students, if you leave this bottle, you will see that the bottle will come up to the surface on its own. You are not pushing that bottle will come on the surface on its own. So students, gauge why this bottle comes onto the surface on its own. Yes students, because the liquid which is present over that container exerts the upward force on that bottle. So due to that force, that bottle comes on the surface of that water. Now push this bottle deeper inside the fluid. Okay, at the depth, push this bottle deeper inside the fluid, you will feel more force against your hand. Whenever you push this bottle at the depth of this container, okay, at the bottommost layer, at that time you will feel force, that means more force against your hand, and when you release, see, when you release that bottle, it will rush back to the surface. It will rush back to the surface. So students, it will come faster. In this case, when you drop or when you push that bottle at the bottommost layer of that water container, at that time your hand feels the pressure from the downward side, okay, and that bottle will come up faster towards the towards the surface of water that it came up in the previous case. In the previous case, we only hold this bottle into the water. At that time, that bottle will also come into the on the surface of water. But as compared to that case, in this case, when you push this bottle at the bottom of that water container, that bottle will come up faster on the surface. Okay, students. So, the upward force increases as it pushed deeper. So, the upward force increases as you push that bottle deeper into the fluid. Okay, and that is because the pressure also increases. And that is because the pressure also increases as we go deeper into the fluid. So from that we can say that as we goes deeper into any kind of fluid, at the bottom the pressure is increases. Okay students, got it? So the upward force which is exerted by the water, okay, here upward force is exerted by the water on that bottle is known as upthrust or the buoyant force. That upward force is known as upthrust or the buoyant force. Now, this is all about the force or the pressure which is exerted by the liquid from downward side. I hope you understood this concept very well, students. If you have any query regarding this topic, please ask me. Okay, students? Again, I repeat, what is the buoyant force? The upward force which is exerted by the water on that bottle is known as the upthrust or the buoyant force. Okay, students, got it? So, students, we will proceed further to the next topic of this chapter, that is the pressure exerted by the gases. Till now, we have seen that the pressure exerted by the solid and the pressure exerted by the liquid. Now, we will learn about the pressure exerted by the gases, that means the air. See students, we are surrounded by air, okay, from all the directions, not only single one direction. We are surrounded by the air from all the direction. So this envelope of air around us is what we call atmosphere. Yes students, the envelope of air surrounding us is what we call atmosphere. Okay, so does air also exerts pressure on the object which are on the earth? Yes students, the question is arise in your mind also. Does this air exerts a pressure on the objects which are present on the earth? So students, see, in previous video we studied that the liquid exerts pressure in all the directions. Okay, so for example, see here we have the water in this beaker. Okay students, so due to the gravity this water is pulled down. Due to this gravity, that water is pulled down towards the earth. Okay, so if we divide this water into the different layers, then each layer is being pulled down by the earth. Each layer is being pulled down by the earth. Here see students, all the layers are pulled down towards the earth. Not single one layer is hanging into that container. Okay. So due to this pull, water exerts a downward pressure. Due to this pull, water exerts a downward pressure, and this pressure is uneven, throughout. Okay, this pressure is uneven throughout. So that is, the bottom layer exerts more pressure. Due to these layers which are top over there, that exerts the pressure onto the bottommost layer, and due to that bottommost layer exerts the more pressure. So this bottom layer experiences more pressure than that of this top layer. Now this is because the weight of the water above the bottom layer. This bottom layer, see there, grayish is the bottom layer, these three are reddish, these are the uppermost layers. So this is because the weight of the water above this bottom layer is more, and the pressure decreases as we go upward. Means the weight of this water layer, that is which are in the red color, is more. So due to that more weight, they exerts the pressure on this grayish color bottommost layer. Okay, exerts the pressure, and which will exerts more pressure on that bottom layer. Okay students, so in fact we saw the water exerts pressure. We also saw that the water exerts pressure in all the direction, not only in the downward direction. Okay students, so in this case, one more thing that we studied about the liquid pressure is that at any point in a liquid, see over here, at any point in a liquid, the pressure is same in all the direction. That means not the thing that in the east direction the pressure is more and in west direction the pressure is less. See students, at any point in the liquid the pressure is same in all the directions. Okay students, so that is, if I take, see, that is, if I take any point here in this water, suppose this is water, and if I take any point in here in this water, the pressure exerted by water here is the same in all the direction. Okay, suppose this is point here I take in this water, so the pressure exerted on that point is same in all the direction. So just like water, students, the air also behave in the same way. This is our today's session's topic. So just like water, the air also behave in the same way, just like water. See, air is also being pulled down by the earth's gravitational force, and this force applies pressure on the air in the downward direction. Okay, just like water, air also exerts a pressure over here which is pulled down by the earth's gravitational force, and this force applies the pressure on the air in downward direction. So the pressure exerted by the air in the downward direction is called air pressure or the atmospheric pressure. Got it students? The pressure which is exerted by the air is known as air pressure or the atmospheric pressure. So students, here I want to ask you one question, that did you know that the atmosphere is divided into the different layers? Yes students, I think you know that the atmosphere is divided into the different layers. Which are these? The atmosphere is divided into the 5 layers. See over here, namely these layers are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and the exosphere. Okay, so above the earth there is air. Okay, that means there is the atmosphere above the air which possesses different 5 layers, namely troposphere, which is near to the earth's surface. To the above troposphere there is the stratosphere, above stratosphere there is the mesosphere, then thermosphere and exosphere, so on. Okay, so the pressure, see, in the topmost layer, that is the troposphere, near to the earth. Okay, so the pressure in the troposphere, which is the bottommost layer, is higher. Okay, the pressure is higher or the more in the topmost layer. Okay students, sorry, the pressure is higher or more in the bottommost layer, students. Okay, so, and I'm sure you can guess the reason why the bottommost layer possesses the greater pressure. Okay students, so why this is so? See here, the weight of the air above the troposphere. See, the weight of the air, that means above the troposphere means the weight of the air in the stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere is greater than the weight of the air above the stratosphere. Okay students, again, the weight of the air above the troposphere is greater than the weight of the air above the stratosphere. See here, why this is so? Because the air exerts pressure. The air pressure also acts in every direction. Okay, in every direction this air pressure is also act. So students, what happens? See over here, not only in the downward direction, air pressure is also exerts in all the direction, and finally, just like the pressure in the liquids, the air pressure at particular height, the air pressure at, see, the air pressure at particular height above the earth's surface is same in all the direction. It's same in all the direction. Students, this is little bit difficult topic to understand. So here I revise this topic once again. So please see concentrately over here. See students, atmosphere. Okay, the pressure which is exerted by the air is known as, yes students, air pressure or the atmospheric pressure. So this atmosphere above the earth's surface, the atmosphere is divided into the different 5 layers. Okay, these layers are namely troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. So the pressure in the troposphere, which is at the bottom most layer, is higher than that of the pressure above these troposphere layers. Okay, so why this is so? Why the pressure is high at the bottommost layer than that of the rest of the above layers? See over here, because the weight of the air above the troposphere is high. Okay, the weight of the air above the troposphere is greater than the weight of the air above the stratosphere. Means the air above the second most, that is stratosphere, is less than that of the weight of the air above this troposphere. Okay, so the air pressure, see over here, the air pressure also acts in every direction, students. The air pressure also acts in every directions and not only in the downward direction. So, and finally, just like the pressure in case of liquid, the air pressure at particular height above the earth's surface is same in all the directions, students. That is why here I take suppose 2 points. These red, see over here. Here I take these 2 points at the same directions, at the same distance above the earth's surface. Then the air exerts a pressure at this point. Then the air exerts a pressure at this point, which at this point in all the direction. The air exerts equal pressure at that point in all the direction. Okay, students, means the pressure which is exerted by the air is exerts in all the direction to that point, just like the liquid. Okay, and in this case that another point also feels the equal pressure and in the all directions. Okay, now look at, students, the interesting graph. A graph which represents the pressure at a particular altitude. So in this case the x-axis is the pressure and this y-axis, that is the altitude. Okay, the graph also represents how the pressure varies from layer to layer, means how pressure is differ in one layer, second layer, third layer. This we will get idea about from this graph. So the troposphere layer is closest to the surface of the earth, students, and the pressure in this layer goes up to this 100,000 Pascal. The pressure in this layer goes up to the 100,000 Pascal. Okay, in this troposphere, students. Okay, where the Pascal, see, where the Pascal is represented by capital P small a, which is the SI unit of the pressure. Okay, this we have seen in the previous video. So this is the massive pressure, students. This is the more pressure at the bottommost layer, that is the troposphere. Okay, students. Now this pressure pushes and pulls the object on the surface of the earth. That's why the object which is the object which we released from topmost layer falls onto the ground due to that pressure. That is, that pressure pushes and pulls the object on the surface of the earth. So for example, if I take table with the upper surface of 1 by 1 meter. Suppose this is the table which has the upper surface 1 by 1 meter, that means length and breadth are 1 by 1 respectively. So the pressure exerted by the air, the pressure exerted by the surrounding air on that table in the downward direction is really great, really greater than the 1 lakh Pascal, students. The pressure which is exerted on that table in the downward direction is really greater than the 1 lakh Pascal. Imagine, students, how that pressure is 1 lakh Pascal. So this is 1 lakh Pascal pressure, means this is equivalent to the 10 cars which are being put on this table. 10 cars being put on this table. Yes, students, 10 cars. So, I know you must be thinking that why doesn't the surface collapse? Okay, students, this question is also arise in your mind that why doesn't that surface collapse under this huge pressure? So, students, how does it handle such massive pressure acting down it? So, a little while ago, we said that the pressure which is exerted at point above the above above the earth surface is equal in all the direction. This we have seen just now. What we have seen, students? A little while ago we said that the pressure which is exerted at the point, at any point, the pressure which is exerted above the earth's surface is equal in all the direction. It's equal in all the direction. So here the pressure is more, but that pressure exerts in the equally all direction. So the pressure at every point on this table is same in all the direction. Okay. So thus, if the downward pressure is pushing the table surface with great force, then the upward force, that is F2, that upward force also push that table with the same force. Okay, so both these forces balance each other. If F1 force is suppose something is F1 force act over there, and that equal force is act by the F2. So both the forces are balanced and table does not collapse here. Okay, students, F1 and F2, these are equal, so that they balance each other, and so because of that reason that table does not collapse. So I said pressure is not only acting in these two directions. Okay, so the pressure is not only acting these two directions, that means upward and downward direction. It is acting on the surface in all the directions, students. So pressure acting in opposite directions. The pressure which is acting in the opposite direction, they can cancel each other. They can cancel each other out. So here it's one cool experiment that you can also perform at your home, students. See over here. What is this, students? This is a plastic bottle which is filled with water. Okay, this is plastic bottle which is filled with water. Now what you have to do at your home? You have to take one plastic bottle, fill it with water, and then take a cardboard paper. Okay, then take a cardboard paper, place it on the open end of the bottle like this. Okay, students, first you have to take the plastic bottle which is filled with water, and then take a cardboard paper and place it on the open end of that bottle like this. Now hold this paper with your hand so that it does not move from its position, and invert this bottle just like in this fashion. Okay, now let go of the paper. Let go of the paper. What did you see? What did you see, students? Yes, the cardboard paper. See, students, the cardboard paper sticks to the surface. This cardboard paper sticks to the surface. So why is it held to the surface? The question is arises in your mind that why is it held to the surface? So students, it is held to the surface because of the air pressure. Because of the air pressure which is pushing that paper in the upward direction. The pressure, the air pressure from the downward side push that paper in the upward direction. Because of that air pressure, that cardboard paper stick to that bottle over there. So the upward air pressure is sufficient to counter this downward push exerted by the water. So here one question is also arise in your mind that water also exerts the downward pressure, but at the same time the air which is below that bottle, that also air exerts the pressure on that bottle from the upward side. Okay, so the pressure which is exerted by the air towards the upward side is sufficient to counter the pressure of that liquid. Okay, see students, in this case, suppose, so this is all about the pressure exerted by the upward direction and the downward direction. Now if I make few holes in that bottle at its base or something else in that layer, if I make the few holes, what happens now students? What happens now? The paper gets fall off. So why did the paper gets fall off when you hole that bottle? Did the upward pressure on it stop acting? Yes students, did the upward pressure by the air stop acting? Yes, or did it reduced in the value, or the air pressure, the value of air pressure get reduced in this case? What happens? Why that cardboard paper falls off? No students, no, it didn't. The upward pressure on it, see, the upward pressure, that means that from the downward side, see there, the upward pressure on it by the air remains the same, but the downward pressure is increases. But the remains the same, but the downward pressure is increases, because when we hold that bottle at that time, the air goes into that bottle, the air from outside goes into that bottle, and the air pressure is increases in that bottle, so that downward pressure get increased, okay, in its value. When we made the holes in the bottle, we allows the air to flow inside it from the top. So the air from the top starts exerting pressure on that water, and the combined pressure of, so the combined pressure of air and water from the top could easily overcome the pressure which is exerted by the air from the bottom. Okay students, so here, so there is net force acting on the paper in the downward direction, that is, there is more pressure in the downward direction, and that is the reason why this paper gets detached from that surface. Okay students, got it? What is the upward pressure, what is the downward pressure which is exerted by the air? So here this topic is also over, the pressure which is exerted by the air and the atmospheric pressure. Now students, we have studied about the pressure which is exerted by the liquid. So can we measure that pressure? Just like temperature, we can measure the temperature by the thermometer. So there is any instrument from that we can measure the pressure of liquid? Yes students. So but before going to that device, first I want to tell you, see, I want to tell you that there are also certain other measurements which can measure the liquid, but from that one of them is the manometer. See students, manometer, it is the instrument which measure the liquid pressure. Manometer, it is the instrument which measures the liquid pressure. So in this media we will learn about an experiment to measure the unknown pressure value using this manometer. So what is the construction of this manometer? See over here, students. This manometer is U-tube. The U-tube manometer consists of a glass tube bent to the U shape. This is glass tube bent to the U shape. Now, initially this tube is filled with water. See over there, this white in color. It is filled with water or any manometric fluid, such that the level of the fluid is same in both the limbs. See over here, the level of the fluid is same in both the limbs, both these limbs. So the manometric fluid in the U tube can be whether that fluid is oil or water or mercury, whatever may be used over here. Okay, so the manometric fluid may be oil, water or mercury, okay, whose density should be known. So there are two limbs. See, to this U-tube there are two limbs in the manometer, L1 and L2. Namely, these are L1 and L2. Now, after that, a graduated scale is fixed between these two limbs, L1 and L2. Between these two limbs, a graduated scale is fixed between these two limbs. See in this fashion, students. Okay, between these two limbs. Now, when the both limbs are exposed to same pressure medium, the fluid level in these two limbs will be equal. See, the fluid medium in these two, L1 and L2, is equal. Now, let us measure the pressure of liquid. Okay, how it is? See over here, students. So see how we measure the pressure of water column. See the limb 2. See over here, L2. This limb L2 is connected with a rubber tube. The end of this rubber tube is consists of a funnel which is closed with a rubber sheet. This is the funnel which is connected to that rubber tube, and that funnel is closed with the rubber sheet. Now this tube is then inserted into the beaker which is filled with the water and whose pressure is to be determined. Okay, that beaker is filled with the water whose pressure is to be determined. Now the rubber tube with this funnel is pressed down. What you have to do? You have to press down this rubber tube. Okay, press down to the bottom of that beaker. Okay, so that the pressure is induced through the rubber sheet to that tube. The pressure is induced through that rubber sheet to this tube. Okay, now the manometric level get increases into the L1. See over here, students. Whenever this rubber tube touch to this bottom, at that time the manometric level of water increases into the L1, and simultaneously the level of the L2 get decreases or falls down. So the difference between these two, the difference between the reading on the graduated scale is the heighted. Means how much it is goes upward and how much it is falls, the difference between them is denoted by the height, that is h. So the pressure of water column can be calculated. So the pressure of water column can be calculated by the formula, that means pressure is equal to rho into G into H, where rho is the density of water, G is the gravity and H is the height. So this formula is not given over here, but you have to just remember that the pressure of the water column can be calculated by this formula. This is the more information regarding this manometer which is not given in your textbook. So the pressure of the water column can be calculated by the formula, that means P is equal to rho into G into H. That means that means H is the height of the fluid in this U tube, G is the acceleration due to gravity, and rho is the density of the manometric fluid. So you will see this type of calculation and the formula in the next years, okay, in the higher classes. So you have to just remember that for the measurement of liquid, that is the pressure of liquid, the manometer is used over here. So what is the application of this manometer? This U-tube manometer is mainly used to measure the difference of the pressure. Okay students, so there is also another instrument, this you have to know that, which is known as the barometer. Okay, the barometer is used to measure the atmospheric pressure. See students, this manometer is used to measure the pressure of liquid, while the barometer is used to measure the atmospheric pressure. See this figure, this is the instrument called barometer which is used for measuring this atmospheric pressure. So the first measurement of this atmospheric pressure was done by the scientist which is known as Evangelista Torricelli in 1643. What he did, see, he immersed a glass tube which is sealed at one end into the container which is filled with the mercury. Okay, so the atmospheric pressure then forced the mercury to rise into this tube from the height of the mercury in the tube. So this scientist measured the magnitude of the atmospheric pressure. Okay, so you will see this also detail in the higher classes, but you have to just remember that for the measurement of atmospheric pressure we use the instrument barometer, and for the measurement of liquid pressure we use the instrument that is the manometer. Okay students, all of you got it, this topic. Now tell me, we have seen 3 topics in combining these 2 sessions, that is the pressure, which is what do you mean by the first pressure, the concept of pressure, the formula of the pressure, the units of the pressure, then the pressure which is exerted by the solid, the pressure exerted by the liquid, and the pressure which is exerted by the air, that means the gases. Okay, these 3 we seen in these togetherly these 2 sessions. The pressure exerted by all these 3 states and their examples are covered in these 2 sessions, but I want to ask you one question, that if anyone students has queries regarding these all the topics, please students ask me the questions and comment on that. Okay, so in this way this topic is also over, that means this lesson number 11 pressure is also over. Okay student, so read all the chapter concentrately and please do study on that chapter. Okay students, thank you.